And I remember thinking, man, closing down schools is stupid. Closing down schools is going to do irreparable damage. And who did it? A lot of people say Dr. Fauci. A lot of people say the school board. You know, if you're a political guy, a lot of people are going to say Trump, whatever. But I'll tell you who says he didn't do it, and that is Dr. Fauci. Let's show Dr. Anthony Fauci saying what he did not do.
Was it a mistake in so many states and so many localities to see schools closed as long as they were?
I think in some case, I don't want to use the word mistake, John, because if I do, it gets taken out of the context that you're asking me the question on.
Well, did we pay too high a price?
Yeah, I would say that what we should realize and have realized that there will be deleterious collateral consequences when you do something like that. This idea that this virus doesn't afflict children is not so. It does. We've lost close to 1,500 kids so far.
But much less than the older population, obviously.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But you shouldn't discount that it does afflict children, so it isn't without consequences. If you go back, and I ask anybody to go back over the number of times that I've said we've got to do everything we can to keep the schools open, no one plays that clip. They always come back and say Fauci was responsible for closing schools. I had nothing to do.
I mean,
let's get down to the facts.
Well, I mean, okay, if that's what you say. A lot of people are saying differently. A lot of parents are saying he was complicit in the school closing. The national, you got guys stepping down, you got people all over the place. And look, I will tell you this, when I saw Fauci talk like that, I kind of believed him. And then I said, well, you know what? He has talked out of both sides of his mouth. And anybody that doesn't understand that school closures did give collateral damage. All right. Fox News contributor Nicole Safir says she found a few instances to prove the opposite. While no one can fault the initial school closures, spring of 2020, the CDC, state legislatures, teachers union, and even Dr. Fauci played a role in prolonging the closures that ultimately provided problems. Fauci said, what is paramount is the safety and welfare of the children and of their teachers. When you have a lot of infections, you got to make a decision at the local level. Now, personally, I'm a reasonable person. That doesn't sound unreasonable to me. Apparently, in January of 2021, Fauci said he supported the CDC's updated guidelines that schools should resume in-person learning if social distancing and masks were properly enforced. She also argued that he did not speak up when powerful teachers union slow-walked the reopening of schools. Sapphire said, when schools stay closed, citing it's impossible to maintain 6 feet social distancing, Fauci remained quiet. He did say respectfully that schools should reopen as soon as possible for the sake of childhood education, but he was complicit in the damage done when he remained silent on as the local legislatures and teachers union kept the schools closed. Reading scores have decreased to the lowest level in 30 years. Math scores have decreased to the low. It's the first decrease in math in the history of the testing regimen done by the National Center of Educational Statistics. So there was total collateral damages, and certainly we all knew that. However, I would argue for Fauci in this. I know he's an easy target. I know he's the easiest guy in the world to say that, well, you know what, blame it on Fauci. And I know he put himself in front of all of us way too many times for us to have any kind of interest in what he had to say. And certainly he contradicted himself. But I got to tell you, as the son of a teachers union lobbyist, if you think Dr. Fauci's words were going to have a great impact on the most powerful teachers unions in the country, you're nuts. It's easy to blame. It's easy. And people can go back and cut up clips and show where Fauci said this or where Fauci said this or said that. But one of the things that I don't really want to hear is him being silent was complicit. I mean, let's be honest. That's the easiest thing in the world to say. You have no out when you're Fauci. You know, what he said, I think, is right. The local level has to decide. What's the problem with that?